Talk about yourself, young man. I mean, how was the birthday celebration?
The birthday, very, very quiet, to be honest with you. I think that's because it was a Monday, to be honest with you. But I made up for it on the Saturday and the Sunday, I think, according to... It's actually my mum's birthday today. So
Oh,
it is.
really?
So we're
Another
going to be...
Leo.
Pardon?
Another Leo.
I've never even thought about that, by the way. She must be a Leo, isn't she? I
So
think
I'm
so.
a Leo. I'm the 25th,
Right.
and my missus is a Leo as well. So Lions in the camp. So it's all good. All good.
Aye. No, so it was quite
I'm a Libra.
It was... Oh, Carol's in the background. She's a
Hi,
Libra.
Carol.
Hi.
Hey, Auntie Carol.
So... no, it was pretty quiet. But I think it's a wee bit different when you get a wee bit older. I'm waiting to him. If I get to 60, Bobby, I'm going to go radio rental. I want to go to Ocean Beach and Ibiza and all that.
Listen, I'll take you. Right, we'll do a little
Right.
joint celebration.
Well,
That's
the boys have got some contacts out there, so they know the boy George, who's I think he's part owner with the boy Lineker.
Are you serious?
No, because his dad is Geordie Mack from the Ibrox Bar in Tenerife, who
really?
I've known since I was 16. So that's how I always go back to Tenerife because of that, because of the kind of connection there. George is a great lad, so he is. So his son, he's obviously in that type of business. So that's what he's got. He looks after the boys when they go over there. So he does. So he's a great lad. I've just lost him.
You lost him?
Mm. You there, Bobby? Alright. You there? What happened to you there?
I changed cameras.
Man, you're like... Is that a trick you've just done? You're like a magician. You went through one background. I've been like, I've lost him. Not the first time I've lost you.
Nah, I just thought I changed cameras. I think this is better for the angle, you know?
You don't need to rub it in, sorting your hair there. No, I've not got any.
Right, so, basically, let's might as well just get started into it, if I can change that. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. So
You're looking beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Listen, you're my motivation. If I get to your age and look like you, I thank God. I thank God every day.
By the way, to be honest, I didn't even think I would get to this age when I was my mid-20s. So that's
my first question. Obviously, you had a very decent football career. I've got a question for you.
Aye.
Who was the best defender you played with or played against?
Oh, good shout. Best defender I played with. I would probably go with Richard Gough, to be honest with you. Okay. I mean that's, and we're talking about, I played with the England captain as well at that time, Terry Butcher, who was he was a phenomenal captain. Somebody that get you really motivated, but an out-and-out defender, somebody that was so professional and lived his life right, and an absolute winner. But as a defender, he did everything. He obviously, you need to be able to tackle. He was great in the air. He read the game very well. But what I liked about Gough as well, he kept it dead simple. He didn't try to do something that he couldn't do. He just kept it simple, gave it to the players in front of him that could use the ball. But as a defender, he was absolutely brilliant. Best defender I played against, that's a kind of difficult, because even when you're in the middle of the park, it's a bit different. I'm just trying to think of guys at the back, and then you automatically start to think about guys that played at Celtic and that. Maybe one that's just off the cuff, Roy Aitken.
Okay.
That might, I don't know if it would surprise a few people, but Roy played in midfield at times, but also played at centre back with Celtic. He was a tough nut, so he was as well. But again, which I like, he could play a wee bit as well. So probably Goughy. He would be my number one. Do you know? See, when I just sit here and I think, I'll give you another one. And I was at Sunderland, an absolute madman, but I loved him. The hardest player I've ever played with, a guy called Kevin Ball.
Oh, right. He's a coach now. He used to be a coach and a manager, didn't he?
A great lad. Oh, but see what? Oh, he would. There's always that saying he would kick his granny. He would kick. He would kick anybody. On my first day at Sunderland, he was booting me up and down the training field, and I was like, I was like that to him at the end. I went, "What are you about, you crackpot?" I says, "I'm here to play for you, and you're trying to do me in." But that's just the way he was. He was, but a lovely guy. But soon as the ball came out, we were training, playing games.
Animal.
He was crackers. So, so guys like that, Goffey, Butcher. I mean, they're the kind of bigger names. But there's one to throw in. Kevin Ball. I love Bally, so I did.
I love that. Who was the best midfielder? Same again, but best midfielder you played with and played against?
Oh, I mean, there's loads when you think about the likes of Durante. There's the Ian Fergusons, the Ray Wilkins, but
Rolls Royce him.
But a lot of people, and Carol's mousing in the background. Davy Cooper. Davy Cooper was a winger. Carol. He was a flair player. Tell you who I'm going to go for. Graham Souness.
Okay.
Man,
any stories on him?
Well, I've got plenty. No, but what I would say, Bobby, is a lot of people tend to think because the way I left the Rangers, there was a big fallout between me and Souness. There was never a big fallout. It was just that I had been struggling at times with injury. People don't realise this. I had a few injury problems at Rangers. Plus, at times I maybe wasn't living my life in the best possible. You know, and I kind of get that. You learn that as you get a wee bit older. But I had nothing but admiration for Graham Souness. In fact, when he came to Rangers, no, just as a manager, as a player, I couldn't believe it. I was going to be playing with this icon, and I did play numerous games with him. But when he came, you could tell right away he was just an out-and-out winner. But on the park, hard. We know what he was like. I mean, when it came to the physical side of the game, at that time, nobody was better than Souness. But it was the rest of his game. I mean, what a passer of the ball. It was a great first touch. And he scored some fantastic goals as well. But just, he owned the middle of the park. And I think that's, so you learn wee bits off all different players. And I'm naming likes of Wilkins, the Durants, totally different players. But Souness was probably the best. Against, there's a couple, Bobby, to be honest with you. The one that springs to mind right away is Paul Gascoigne, because I come across Gaza as an 18-year-old when we played against England, the schoolboy. Well, no schoolboys, it was under 18s.
Okay.
And I knew right away after the game that I had played against somebody that was going to be special. That was going to be, I knew right away. Right away, because at that time, Bobby, I'd been playing in Rangers' first team for about a year or two. So 18, and you're going up against, all the English players, they're all going to be good players. But that night at Pittodrie, Gascoigne was exceptional. I'd never come across anybody like him. The dribbling, it was phenomenal. His range of passing, short passing, long passing, the physicality. I always go back to that because I kind of like that in a midfielder. So he did, Gaza, strong as an ox, and I think we lost that game 1-0 that night, and he scored the goal. But it was just after the game, sitting in the dressing room, and I was thinking to myself, God, I'm a Rangers first team player at the moment, and I've come up against. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him for Adam, and I remember turning around. I think it was wee Durante, and I thought, I was like to him, I says, this guy's going to be some player, by the way. And that was proven, wasn't it? He was absolutely.
He did all right.
No bad. Another one I would throw into the hat, and I think that used to be his nickname. It was called the hat. It was a guy called Paul McStay.
Okay.
Big rival, obviously. Paul was he was a phenomenal player. I like in the kind of Souness mould, but a wee bit maybe not as physical, but he could run the show. And if you let Paul play, if you let him dictate, he would just, as I say, he would run the show. He would dictate everything. and he would hurt you. He would get the rest of that Celtic team playing. So every time we come up against Paul, you had to try and nullify that. But at times you couldn't, because he was that good, and he was such not just a top player, but an absolutely top guy. Because a lot of people don't know this. I worked with him. Once
really?
He come up with a programme working in the schools. It was called Soccer Curriculum, and his idea was the Rangers and Celtic players to go into the schools, mostly in Glasgow, and that again, this is the Catholic schools and the Protestant schools.
Good initiative. Yeah.
Again, but we've got schools now that you've got Catholic, Protestant coming, or the religion side and all that goes with it. But his idea was to bring in, me and Paul worked in schools together. There was Tosh McKinley, Robert Pritz. So it was brilliant. So it was. And it was just to show the youngsters that, we're rivals.
But there's respect.
But the respect thing, that we can be friends, we can be pals. But sometimes I'd go out in Glasgow with Paul, not a lot, but there was a couple of times. And people looked at us as if we were daft and going like that, what the two yous doing together? You shouldn't be socialising. And we were just two guys that played football for the teams that we loved, sharing a beer, having a laugh.
Yeah.
So we were just trying to show that other side of it. Do you know, Bobby? So
it's good now, because I think a lot of that side is coming out now, isn't it? I mean, listen, rivalries aside, two guys that, like you said, have played football for the clubs that they love. The respect is there because you're peers at the end of the day, your colleagues as well, if you think about it, in the same profession. So, I respect that. I like that, Uncle Derek. Okay, last position. Best striker you've played with and the best striker you've played against.
Oh, best striker. Here we go. I get caned for this. A lot of people, because I don't know. I mean, listen, Alan McCoy always comes. I mean, Coyce is a legend. He was a phenomenal goal scorer.
What was it like being on the pitch with him? Everyone talks about he's a great guy, great personality.
Hard as nails. There you go. He was hard as nails. Coyce's a guy that. He's everything you're just talking about. He is a lovely guy. Gets on with everybody. But you wouldn't want to mess with him as well. And I know that for a fact, because when I left Rangers and played against Hearts, Rangers when I with Hearts, I noised him up a few times. And he was at me. He was wanting to have a go. But I knew he was like that. But that's what I liked about Coyce. See, all these great players, they've all got an edge to them. They've all got that other side of them, that desire, that hunger. And Coyce had that in abundance. But the other wee guy I'm going to talk about, who I love him to death, by the way, and I think he was actually, this is people go, what are you talking about? I think he was actually maybe a better goal scorer than Coyce.
Are you serious?
It's a wee guy called John Robertson.
Well.
See, we Robo. Now, the Coyce would maybe say get 4 or 5 good opportunities in a game. He would maybe take 1 or 2. Playing with Hearts, and I played in that Hearts side, and for a couple, 2-3 years, I mean, we were challenging Rangers at one point.
Yeah.
We Robo would maybe get 1 or 2 opportunities during the game, and he would always take 1 of them. And even in training, he always, in shooting practice and small-sided game, whatever, he always hit the back of the net. But I used to look at him and go, he's not hit that cleanly. But it ends up in the back of the net. And I think that was kind of just, he had that in his locker. I think it was intentional. That it wasn't the cleanest of strike. Sometimes if you hit a shot, 9 times out of 10, if you hit it through, it goes to the keeper if you're having a shot.
Yeah.
We Robo always found the back of the net, the corner of the net. So, kind of undecided. Robo didn't have the physicality of and I maybe shouldn't say this, but I'm going to, that edge that Coyce had. But he was a terrific finisher, Robo. The quickest player over 2 yards, and you'll go 2 yards. What's and that was in the box. See if a ball just broke in the box, a yard or 2.
I get it, yeah.
Wee Robbo was lightning quick. Now, he was only a wee guy, but over that short kind of distance, Coyce had a wee bit more to his game in terms of he could link to play because Coyce started out as a midfielder, Bobby. Don't know if you knew that with St Johnstone, and then developed into a striker. And we know how good he became. So it's hard to go between the two of them. So they're the two best strikers or forward players that I've played with. Against
someone that you knew that hurt you no matter what.
Maurice Johnson.
Yeah?
I played with him. I played against him when he played with Celtic. Wee Mo had, he wasn't the biggest. He was brilliant in there. So he was absolutely top drawer. Ran the channels, linked to play, and he was a top goal scorer. And the thing about Maurice, like a lot of the guys I'll probably speak about, just a great guy. How he handled that coming to Rangers, I do not know. The pressure that was on him at that time, everything that he had to put up with. But when you look at it in isolation, you know, who's the best forward I played against? I'd probably plump for wee Mo.
That's so interesting to hear, Uncle Derek. Right, I've left the last position because people say you need to be a madman to be a goalkeeper. So,
you don't even need to ask me. I'm going to tell you that Andy Gorham.
May rest in peace.
Andy, I know. I mean, the goalie. God bless him. Listen, I miss him. I mean, that's him been gone over a year and a half or whatever. Do you know something? Sometimes going to a lot of the functions, the Rangers functions, you know, even when Andy wasn't invited, you know, he'd turn up. He's really was getting just great company. So he was, but he was phenomenal. I only played with Andy in kind of the Legends games.
Okay.
And we used to go to Hong Kong to play in a sevens tournament.
I think I remember this tournament. I remember the story. Please carry on.
Well, I remember at the end of the tournament, we won it actually against Ajax, who were some team by the way. Don't know how we won it because we were on the drink for about 3-4 days before the tournament started. so we were. I think we won it. We were all half cut. But the reason we won that was because of Andy Gorham, and he was raging. But at the end of the tournament, and he still was raging up until the last week before he passed when I was up seeing him, because I was walking out the door. He was up in the hospice up in Airdrie, and I was walking out with Frank McAvenny and Bill McMurdo, and he shouted me back. He went, "Fergie, come here." And I walked in, back, and I went like, "What is it, goalie? You okay? Everything all right?" And he went, you wee bastard." I went like that, and I went, "What is it?" And I was gutted. He went, you cost me that goal out in Hong Kong. We only lost one goal, and it was my fault because it was a long ball. I let the ball bounce. The guy nipped in front of me and put it into the back of the net, and he'd never forgot it. And he went, "See you." And I was like, and I just put my head down. I'm going, "Oh." And then he started laughing, the bugger. You know what I mean? He's like, "I'm only kidding." His arms at me and all that. He says, "You know, I love you, wee man, and thanks for coming up and all that." But without a shadow of doubt, the goalie. But I played with guys like Chris Woods, England goalkeeper at the time, top drawer, Henry Smith at Hearts, Nicky Walker. Tell you what, Nicky Walker was a wee bit before his time. Nicky was a good goalie, terrific goalie, but he was brilliant with his feet. See with his feet, the ball at his feet, he was different class. So
would he be all right in this generation of football?
Yes, he would be perfect for this generation. That's why I'm saying he was probably ahead of his time, because, like I said, the goalie was okay. He was decent with his feet. Chris Woods, I wouldn't say so much Henry Smith, but Nicky Walker was brilliant. So he was with the ball at his feet. Even sometimes if we drop volleys, he would find the target all the time. Great lad. So he was, Nicky, as well. And you know, but we didn't know he owned. Well, he didn't own. His dad is Walker's shortbread man.
Are you serious?
Aye, he came in at Christmas one time and all these big boxes, and we were opening them up, and he's going, "I help yourself, lads." And I'm going, "Walker's shortbread." I'm like, "I love this stuff." And I hadn't made the connection. And I'm sitting, and I think it was a few of the guys, and I'm going like that. And I was going like that to Big Nicky, where'd you get this for? I says, yeah, this fall off the back of a lorry. I says, listen, I'm quids in, I'll pay you for this stuff. I love this. And he was looking at me like, kind of, what are you talking about? And but I hadn't made the connection. I went, and the boys went like that. That's his Daz. And I went, I was raging, by the way, because I'd known him at Rangers. I'd travelled through with him, and he'd never ever gave me any shortbread. I was raging with him. So I was. But he sorted me out after that. So there you go. Nicky was a multi-millionaire, but never let on to me or the rest of the boys. Didn't live in a big fancy mansion or house. Drove an ordinary car and dead down to earth, but multi-millionaire.
Love
but
that.
I'm still raging with him, but love my shortbread.
The final question before I let you go on your morning. What do you think about the way? I'm going to talk about Rangers, obviously. What do you think about obviously the signings? I know you might have not seen some of them play, but how do you think that is shaping up? Are we going to see a period of the inverted commas they're still gelling, or are we going to see them hitting the ground running? Because I'm in a group chat with some reporters, and I put the question in: is Celtic going to dominate, or are we going to see them lose? Are we going to see Rangers lose ground? And when I say that, it's because of the players that they've signed, and Celtic have managed to keep the majority of their players together. What's your thoughts on that situation?
Bobby, it's a great point, because this is a new team, basically.
Yep.
Certainly from middle to front. And like any new players, there's a period of settling in. So there could be a bit of that it takes a bit of time. It's not even just on the park, gelling on the park. It's off the park. What you've got in that dressing room is a host of new boys that have come in, and there'll be quite a few leaving. So all the relationships you have in that dressing room, that they're going to be kind of up in arms a wee bit at the moment. So mostly it takes that period of time. But and the but is, Bobby, as you know, you don't get time at Rangers. Yeah. So Michael Beale knows this. He surely knows this. So they have got to hit the ground running. So I think, and this is just my opinion, I don't think you can come up with excuses, because that could have been done over a kind of a slightly longer period, but the transition with bringing so many players in, I think it can work either way for you. It can put you under a little bit of pressure, or else the guys might just spark into life, because they're all good players. Yeah. You know, they've been bought for a bit of money. The board is back, Michael, you know, in terms of money. Because you look at the previous manager, I don't think they backed him. I don't think with money. So they're back, Michael. So it's a difficult. And listen, we'll not know this, Bobby, until the season gets underway.
Yeah. But is it Kelly away? Kelly away tomorrow?
Kelly away, and by the way, he's recruited very well. Derek McKinnon. It's on the AstroTurf, as we know. So that's no a gimme, what everybody thinks.
It's a tough start.
And I just think, watching the pre-season games, Bobby, I have watched 2 or 3 of them, and it's not been great, to be honest with you. It's been a little bit disjointed. You look at how well Raskin and Cantwell done coming into the side. Cantwell seems a wee bit kind of subdued at the minute. I don't know, is that because of the Lammers and maybe come a wee bit towards the ball, it gets a wee bit congested. But But I don't think they play with that a lot of width. Maybe that's going to kind of, I don't know, nullify Cantwell's kind of what he brings to the table. But it's an intriguing one. It's something that obviously if you're talking to these guys, these journalists, and it's a great point, because it can go one way or the other. So
I mean, like in the group, there's Celtic fans, there is Hamilton fans, there's Hearts fans.
The Accies fans are mad, aren't they?
I won't name the names, but the guy, we both know the guy. I'll tell you off there. But not because we obviously listen. We love to talk about Scottish football, so I created this little group, and it's interesting because I look at it and I think, okay, Celtic have kept majority of their players. Okay, the Jota
A few
side.
left it, Bobby. There's been a few. I mean, a few of them have left. You know,
I know,
Jota,
but they've managed to keep the
I
main
know. I
ones that
get.
contributed, to their dominance. And then I think to myself, okay, on the other hand, Rangers have signed these players. Now, you can be biased or you can be very open and honest by saying there's going to be a period where it's not going to spark, it's not going to click. Then, God forbid, for Rangers' sake, that could be 3 games, that could be 4 games.
And and Bobby, and you can't allow Celtic 2 or
To get
3
ahead.
games. Aye, if Celtic go 6-7 points ahead early in the season, that's so hard to drag that back. And that's a Celtic side that are used to winning. That and when they're
Dominating,
on it,
not just winning, dominating.
and confidence wise, and. Maybe that is a worry, and it's that's what I'm saying. It's intriguing. They'll get obviously at home against Ross County. It's a great start for them, a home game. It's a tricky one for Rangers, but Rangers just can't afford. And it's not even a winning. I think they've got to show a wee bit more, to give you that bit of confidence, in the longer run. But
I think they need to win with a swagger and a bit of panache. And when I say that, I mean I always used to say to my friends that like when you play for a team like Rangers, it's not just about winning; it's how you win.
Well, because you speak too much sense. Because you're right. It's not just about winning. It was always we were told you've got to do it well. You've got to entertain the punters.
Yes, entertain.
You've got to entertain them. They pay good money. They spend a lot of money, by the way, merchandise, tickets, and everything else that goes with it. So just getting over the line ain't enough. You've got to entertain the punters and make sure they're getting home and justifying, that money that they put out. So aye, it's intriguing, and I'm obviously from a Rangers point of view, I'm hoping we go off to a great start. But this is against a Celtic side that, as you say, I'm trying to look at a wee weakness we can. But you're right. They've been a winning machine. They've got guys in their side that these new boys that are coming in. This is what's important, that they install messages into these boys to tell them what it's all about. And that's how I look at Rangers as well. We need that type at Rangers. As soon as these boys come, don't wait till they realise for the punters what it means. You've got to have these guys in the dressing room that are on them, like or come down and not a ton of bricks. That's the wrong word. It's just because even the English boys come up when likes of me, Durante were at Rangers. We were at them all the time, just letting them know what this club is all about, what it means to us. And we were telling them, you'll realise this when you're maybe going out for a meal, up in Glasgow, you're going out for a drink. It's 24/7, and it's how you handle that. So good players that Rangers have signed. So it's like but so the relationships, and can they handle the pressure that you're put under right away?
And do you know what? In this group chat, I also made the point that Brendan Rodgers will want to impose his character and his style of football. So there could be transition on both sides.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Did you see what he said yesterday, Bobby?
No, I never caught it. Sorry.
No, because it's now normally because of obviously winning the league, and one of the reporters must have said, "So you're ready to defend your title?" And he says, "No, we're ready to go and win a title." So it's that mindset you're installing into. We're not defending it. We're going to win it. They want to be on the front foot. So it's just wee things like that, and that's what management's about.
Oh, psychology, isn't it? At the end of the day,
big time, and getting the best out of your players. That's it. And again, that's another thing I'm looking at from a Rangers perspective, because how do you keep these players? Like I looked at Lundstrom that come on the other night. Who else was it? It was Hadji. Hadji kind of flipped his lid with a tackle, but they didn't look kind of happy campers to me. So how do you? And that's management. We know Michael Beale's a phenomenal coach, top coach, but how's he going to manage that situation when players aren't playing and he's bringing in his own? So that's just where we're going to find out a lot, certainly in the early doors.
I think it's a big season. I think it's a big season for Michael Beale because
it's massive.
Listen, the disappointment of your rival winning everything, and then obviously you being backed, listen, I don't want to. A lot of Rangers fans will say the same. He has to go and deliver now,
Yeah,
and that's what makes our football league entertaining because Celtic, Brendan, like you said, has came out saying that he wants to win a title. Rangers need to come back and hit back because obviously they've took a blow from last season, and I think it's going to be exciting this season. I'm just going to conclude there and thank you for your time, Uncle Derek, and I hope to see you soon in personal. Hope to see you soon in personal. And I'm just going to end it like that. Give me 2 seconds, Uncle D.
Cheers, Bobby.